Hey everybody, Jim Ingersoll here. It's nice to see you. This is our first chance to go through Investors in the Middle, and I've got a great time with Martine Jackson today, and we're going to tell her story, how she got to where she's at with real estate, where she is going, what are some of her goals, and then she's got a couple of questions for all of us in the community to get answered. And I'm going to let her answer those in a little bit. I'm going to help her with some of my responses, but I really want to reach out to our community here and get your response. And then you're going to meet her in Norfolk in December, which is going to be absolutely awesome. We're all really looking forward to it. There's a lot of people coming to this, so it's going to be really great. I know Bo Eckstein from San Francisco. I know that you cannot come because you got like a birthday bash, but we got folks coming from Texas and Chicago and Virginia, all over. So it's going to be really, really good. So make sure you're ready to roll on that. Martine Jackson, welcome to Investor in the Middle today. It's nice to be here and see your smiling face.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
So let's get started by just telling us a little bit about yourself. Where you're from, what you used to do before real estate, how you ended up here.
Okay. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I still live in Richmond, Virginia. I've been doing real estate. Well, I've been learning about it for 2 years. I've been consistent with my marketing since May, and that has really changed the game for me. Before I did real estate, I was a financial analyst. I worked at this private equity firm, working numbers all day. I'm a numbers person. It was pretty cool, but I'm an entrepreneur by heart. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of torture to have to go to work every day and do things that I really didn't care about. So I think I'm very fortunate to be able to do real estate full time now.
So where did you go to college, and where were you working and stuff?
Okay, I went to college at James Madison University. I have a degree in finance, and I was working at the new name of the place now is Pavilion Alternatives Group. It was called Altius Associates. And it's just a private equity investment firm. So we just take large sums. Well, they used to take large sums of money and just invest them into different funds, and the funds in turn invest them into companies. And I just kept the records on it so we can know how well the funds were doing and making sure people were making money.
All right, two things. My daughter Carissa went to JMU, so go Dukes, right?
Yes, go Dukes.
How long ago did you graduate?
I graduated in 2012.
Excellent. And she graduated 2 to 3 years ago, so almost the same time. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. What did she get her degree in?
Dietetics. So she's
a registered. I probably didn't see her.
You probably did. So she's working at a hospital, and right now she's also doing a flip.
Oh,
so while she was a college student, she owned a rental all the way through JMU, so she didn't have to work part-time. And then in between, the summer, she had to do a year of residency type thing at MCV.
Right.
And during that time, she worked, but she didn't get paid, so she did a flip. Now she's doing another flip. And then last week, she emailed me. She said, I think I really want to go into Airbnb. So she's always thinking.
Wow, I wish I would have knew this stuff when I was in college. I worked a part-time job.
I wish I knew it in college, too, for sure. So you worked for this really large fund, and they didn't invest in real estate, but they invested in other funds. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
What kind of returns would a fund make typically?
If it was a really good fund, maybe 12%, which was a really good return. Some funds we had were negative percentages, but we kind of took that into account that they were new, and it probably took a while for them to start making some money. But in between that, 12 was usually a really good fund. We'd get a lot of clients to invest in that because that was a large return.
Because I've been thinking about starting a fund, and so are some of the other members in our group, actually.
Okay.
To raise private capital for real estate. And you always say, well, how big of a return do you really need? And I've always thought if you're near a double-digit return, you could probably get all the money you need.
Right.
So your experience is 12%. You can raise millions of dollars at 12%.
That's true. You can.
Right. So how did you turn the corner from this fund and end up in real estate? How did your entrepreneurial journey start?
Well, it well, it didn't start in real estate actually.
I figured.
Before I went to college, I was working with an insurance company, and that was the reason that I even majored in finance, because I saw it was a guy in the company. He was young and he had a degree in finance. So I was like, oh, I got to get a degree in finance so I can be great at insurance. But anyway, I was doing it and I didn't really like it. I didn't care for it. I wasn't really passionate about it. My dad had brought up real estate to me. So I decided to do a little bit of digging to figure out how to do it, because my dad never invested in real estate, but he just knew it was a good investment. So I don't know. Once I started digging into it, I went kind of all in. I started like looking for a mentor, and like I would just go to auctions and ask people, so do you mentor people?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And one guy, he was like, no, and he tried to sell me a wholesale deal, but my goal was to get him to be my mentor. So I kind of had to prove myself, and I got him to be my mentor for a little while. It was nice.
And how long ago did you quit your job?
I actually got fired from my job.
Awesome.
My boss could see that real estate was taking a lot of my time. It was affecting my performance at work. So I got fired. I think it was a month ago, September. The end of September, like September 20th. What's today? 27th.
You don't seem to be too upset about getting out of corporate America.
This has been the best thing ever. When I got fired, the next week, 3 deals closed. I went on a trip that I had already planned, but I went on a trip.
You went to Paris?
Yeah, I went to Paris. And then on Friday, I signed a contract for $10,000, which is the biggest one I've ever had. And Tom Krol, you know him?
Mm-mm.
I listen. You don't know? Well, he has a podcast for wholesaling, and I like listen to this podcast religiously. It's how I learned how to wholesale. And he asked me to be on his podcast, so I was excited. That happened yesterday.
Sweet.
So, me losing my job has been great. It's the best month of my life.
Good. I want to schedule you onto my podcast too. Would that be okay?
Yes, that would be great.
Awesome. And maybe I should, if you get to know this other podcaster and he's good, I'd like to have him on mine too. Can you mention that?
Oh, yes, I can. He's a like top-notch wholesaler.
Awesome.
He's great.
Awesome. So 30 days ago, you got fired, and now you're free. You're totally free. You can go out there, find sellers, and do deals, right?
Right. And I'm excited about it.
So you immediately after you left your job, you closed 3 deals, you said, right?
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about those.
One of the deals, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We've been working on these deals for a while.
Of course.
And they just happened to close when I got fired. But, I had one deal where, it was an inherited property. Okay. The people that owned it now, I think it was 4 of them. And they were all in different places. 2 of them were in jail. So that made it kind of hard to get in contact with them. But basically, we just kept pushing. Every time we got an obstacle, we found a way to solve it.
That's how you do it.
And on that deal, I mean, I didn't make much. I made $1,000, but it's better than nothing.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you got the education.
Right. And then it was another one that I had. It was also inherited property. And it's funny, I keep getting inherited properties. I don't send to an inherited list. Okay. I send to it at high equity, and I just get inherited properties. But this one, all 4 of the kids, they lived in Richmond. It was a few obstacles, nothing too big. But the way I got the buyer on this one was from a bandit sign. I just put out bandit signs, and I said, I have a house. Come check it out, because no one was biting on my buyer's list. So I figured I had to, try different things. And then the other one, I'm trying to remember what was the other one. And then there was that one, and then and the other one was it was a house that was, I don't think it was on the demolition list, but it's on some other list where you have to hurry up and fix it.
Code violator or something.
Yeah, something like that. And this one was right across the street from the project, so a lot of people didn't want it. They're like, "Oh no, we don't want a house up there." Creighton Court.
I felt I almost got carjacked there a few years ago. I'm not exaggerating.
I don't think you are either. I was a little nervous going to the property. But
I quickly got in my car and pulled away from the curb.
I understand. But yeah, I was shipping it. I was telling my buyers about it, and no one seemed to be interested because of where it was. Right. So I had put out bandit signs for the other property, and I got a buyer for this one from those bandit signs. It actually was someone I met from a bandit sign. He was a wholesaler as well, and he had someone that was interested. So we just ended up splitting it.
Excellent.
But yeah, those were the three that happened when I first got fired.
All right, and then you just did one for 10. You just signed a $10,000 one. Tell us a little bit about that.
I like this one. It's a good one. So this one, the lady the house that we put under contract, I got her house it's in Churchill. Everyone that I've gotten so far has been in Churchill.
I love Churchill.
Me too.
All right.
This lady, we got her house under contract for $15,000 because she was so motivated. She wanted to really move. She had been there for a while. She couldn't afford the upkeep on her house, and she just was tired of it. She was tired of the headache that everything was falling apart and she couldn't fix it. And also, a motivating factor for her was that she needed help moving. Like, she didn't have all the money to move.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. Yes.
So I spoke to her, and I just tried to find out what she needed. She needed help with like her deposit. So I was like, that's fine. We can just, pay the deposit or whatever for your new place. And I knew based off of the other deals that I had done or the ones that I hadn't done, but I learned a lot from them, how much a buyer would pay for the house. So I marketed it for $27,000 just in case somebody tried to talk me down. And we ended up signing the assignment for $25,500. So awesome. The assignment fee was $10,500. It's the biggest one I've done so far.
Good. Do one of those every couple weeks would be good, right?
Right.
All right. So so you're creating deal flow, which is great, and you like wholesaling. I know you're also doing some lease option stuff, but what are some of your goals that you see coming up? You feel pretty comfortable leaving your job, which is great. Right.
I was a little nervous at first, but I said, no better time than now, and go for it. So,
I left my job 10 years ago, wholesaling.
Never looked back, I bet.
And similar to you, I felt like I had to overproduce. So I left my job in October of say 2006. In 2007, I wholesaled 120 houses.
Oh wow!
I just kept going,
Right.
But it gets to be like a hamster wheel too. You can't really jump off easy.
Right.
It's too much work.
Yeah. So one of my goals that I told you about that I'm really focusing on right now is getting 10 deals a month.
Yep.
And exactly what you said, 120 deals in a year.
There you go.
So I'm working on I haven't reached 10 deals in 1 month yet. So I'm working on reaching the 10 deals. And then once I get to the 10 deals, I want to make it consistent.
Right. So you wanted to talk a little bit about marketing. So your one of your questions for our entire group is about marketing. You want to explain what your question is specifically?
Sure. So I send a blind postcard to my to the mailing list that I get. And what I mean by blind postcard is that I don't necessarily say on the postcard that I want to buy their house. I say that I'm trying to contact them about their house. Okay. Like, I've really been trying to contact you about their house. I got this from Chris Chico. I'm not sure if you ever heard of him before, but he was on Tom's podcast on Wholesaling, and he was like, oh yeah, this has a really high response rate. You get to talk to the people that they don't even know if they want to sell it right now, but maybe they will in the future, and you get to talk to them first. I was like, okay, I'll do it. So
you're definitely a massive action taker. Good for you.
Yes. When I hear someone say something, I just do it.
Right.
But once I've been using that postcard, and the postcard has a very high response rate. You have to dig through it to get a deal out of it, but that's fine. We have a lot of people to call and stuff, but that's okay. But I tried this post when I use it in the city of Richmond. It works well. but I've tried to use it in like the counties. I tried Short Pump area. I used the zip code over there for high equity houses, and we didn't get anyone off the list, and that's rare for us to not get anything from a list. So I'm thinking that maybe I need to try a different marketing approach. I reached out to a couple investors, and they said that it may be best for me to do a letter. But I don't know exactly what I need to write on the letter, or do I need to look like I'm more established, or that's really.
Well, I'll send you, and anybody who's watching, I'll send you a professional letter that you can use. But here's my take on it. Okay.
Okay.
It's easier in the lower bracketed price points.
Okay.
Like let's say that the median in our area is 225.
Right.
The median in Short Pump might be 275 or 300.
Right.
See, you're up really high, and those folks, there aren't as many motivated sellers in those markets as there are the prices below the median.
I got you.
So if you could stay at the median or below, you'll get a higher response rate.
Okay.
And the key to me is to go where your list wants you to go. Like, where do your buyers want to buy? And if you could segment your list so you know, like, this group of buyers is landlord buyers, this group of buyers is fix and flip guys.
Right.
Now, Short Pump is great for fix and flip.
Okay.
I'm buying one in Short Pump right now for 110.
Okay.
That I think is worth over 200. But that's probably like the third one this year that I've done. But it's harder to find them there than it is in markets that are a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
So that's my take, but I'd love to hear everyone else's take on that as well. So that's a good point. And I think it's a matter of like, where do you focus your marketing to? If you're wholesaling, you want to focus it where your wholesale buyers list wants you to go. That's why I think during our one-on-one, I talked about, and I've done this with Zach in Richmond as well. Ask your buyers list where they want to buy houses and what that house looks like, how much it is, and things like that. Then you can just focus all your marketing to that area. I think it's a good way to go. But I'm anxious to get other people's take on that as well. Particularly like, and there's a number of guys that are wholesaling in our group, including Zach. But Tom, I know you're involved with wholesaling over 300 houses a year, so I'd like to hear your take on that as well. And then you wanted to talk a little bit about consistency.
Right. I think I got an aha moment this morning.
Awesome.
I have been doing the Miracle Morning that you sent to me.
Yes,
today
we were talking about that in our last coaching call. It's great. Bo Eckstein in our group loves the Miracle Morning also. It's really a great time of the day.
Right. I was excited about that. So I've been doing it, I think, every day since you told me about it.
Good.
So, I had an aha moment. I've been sending like 1,000 postcards a month, and last month I upped it to 2,000. And I realized that it was one month that I think it was the end of May. I spent, I think I sent, instead of 1,000, I sent out 3,000. And I noticed that not in June, but in July, my number jumped. Like I got 4 contracts signed in July. And then ever since then, I didn't realize it, but ever since then, I've gotten 1 contract signed a month. But it seemed like it was a lot because I was still following up, trying to find buyers. So I really looked at the figures today. So I think, I guess in regards to my consistency, I just need to market more. I just need to make my market higher.
And you may want to look at like, when I was wholesaling 120 houses a year, every wholesaler wanted me to go to lunch with them and tell them how I was doing it. And their question was, what is the one marketing thing you're doing to make that happen? And I wouldn't go to lunch with them, but I mean, I can tell you it wasn't just one thing. It was like bandit signs. I did tons of postcards and direct mail. It was building my referral network. It was bird dogs. It was code violators, red tags. I mean, all that stuff. And it was like a list of like 6, 8, 10 things I did, not 1 or 2.
Okay. Also, something I think that can help a lot of people that are going to listen to this, that I just found out this morning, and you may be doing it. Something that's big now is Facebook marketing.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, when I was listening to my podcast, they were saying that they've been doing Facebook marketing and they're starting to get a higher return than direct mail.
How about that?
And I'm like, ooh.
And I see a lot of our members are doing a lot of Facebook marketing. Zach is definitely doing Facebook ads. Zach, good job. Bo Eckstein out of California. I've seen you've been doing them for Indiana, where you've been buying. And Rich Lennon, I know you asked me about this last week when I saw you. So this is something we should follow up with maybe in our mastermind when we meet in Norfolk. I think that's a great give, and I think it's really good. And I know Trevor, who's got OnCara. We talked about the OnCara website for you also. But he's been doing some content training on Facebook ads as well. I think it is becoming powerful. I also like Facebook for tracking sellers down. When you don't skip trace them, it's like everybody's got a Facebook account, young and old and everyone in between. So you can sometimes find them, just send them a message and say, hey, I want to buy your house. Right. And shortcut the postcards and everything. So if you're driving for dollars and that kind of thing, get their name, check, see if they've got an account. I think that's a great point to make, Martine. All right, well, I want to see everybody's comments for marketing and consistency. And if you've tried Facebook ads, we'd love to hear about that as well. Martine, it's wonderful to have you in our community. You've got big goals, which I love, and really look forward to getting you in front of the whole group in about 6 or 7 weeks when we do that.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, that's Investor in the Middle with Martine Jackson, a soon-to-be very high-volume wholesaler, and also learning to do other deals like lease options, which is really incredible. Congrats on leaving your job. I'm super excited for you, and I'm glad to hear you went from JMU. I enjoyed this session because I got to know you a whole lot better.
Well, thanks. I enjoyed it too.
All right, and we're going to follow up. I'm going to get you onto my podcast too, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, have a great day, and thanks for sharing today.
All right, no problem.
Bye-bye.
Bye.